The first of which was Little Caesar, directed by Mervyn LeRoy, and starring Edward G. Robinson in his big breakout role as the title character, who
Caesar
is often referred to as Rico in the film. That's like his nickname.
Yeah.
I guess Little Caesar is also his nickname, but it's a shorter nickname.
This movie is delightful.
Yes, it is.
I have never seen so much amazing slang in one movie.
Oh my god. Yeah. This movie I realized is so I knew that this movie existed. I'd heard of it, but I didn't realize how much the sort of like cartoon idea of a 1930s gangster is from this movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, part of that is like that's just how gangsters, I think, partially did behave.
And
like,
I think this is also just Edward G. Robinson just doing an incredibly iconic performance.
That's what I mean. It's like Edward G. Robinson's performance in this movie specifically is like where an entire like stock character came from.
Yes,
which is the like, yeah, I'm a gangster.
He says "meow" a lot.
He says, sure.
There are points where he says "meow," see, meow.
Yeah. And it's funny just to see that. Because it's kind of silly to watch now, but it's also like to see the origin of something that has sort of just like spread into culture that much, where it's become just like this like Halloween costume of a character.
Mm-hmm.
To see the like source point of it, where it actually is like a pretty well realized performance.
Yeah, I think it's great in this movie.
Like he feels like a real human in this, as opposed to a like Looney Tunes cartoon.
But that's the thing. It's like he is a real human, but every time he opens his mouth, you're just like, wonderful,
every
great,
time he
hilarious.
opens his mouth to pop a big stogie in there and talk about crime. Yeah. This movie opens with a Bible quote. For all that they take the sword shall perish with the sword, which is a grammatically very odd sentence.
It's like it's live by the sword, die by the sword, but with a different translation, I think.
But with more of an emphasis on stealing. And we see a late night robbery gone wrong at a gas station, where presumably the gas station owner is killed. And then we go to a lonely diner at night where Rico and his best buddy, was it
Rico and Joe?
Joe, thank you.
Joe Massara.
Rico and Joe Massara.
Who is Douglas Fairbanks Jr.
Yeah, Douglas Fairbanks Jr. We're a fan of Douglas Fairbanks Sr. on this podcast. And it's funny to see like, oh yeah, he had a son that was also in movies like around the same time.
Yeah.
I don't think Douglas Fairbanks Jr. has quite the charisma in this movie that Sr. did in Zorro and Thief of Baghdad.
No.
But he's fine.
He's fine, but I mean, Rico steals the show.
He's playing like handsome man in this movie, so he doesn't have a lot to do, I feel like.
Yeah. He's the Zeppo Marx of this movie.
Very much so, yeah. And so at the diner, Joe and Rico order spaghetti and coffee, as gangsters do. And Rico's like, "We're small time. We gotta move to the city where the big leagues are." And so they do that. And the plot of this movie is pretty straightforward. It's like the rise and fall of Rico as a gangster, right? Like we see him like rising through the ranks and like supplanting other people and like making alliances and backstabbing other people. And
he mainly just like jumps into the scene as an extremely like ready to be violent and aggressive guy.
Yeah. And that works out for him for the most part.
Yeah.
And like until it doesn't. It is kind of almost the stock like gangster movie plot too.
Mm-hmm.
Even like the next movie we're going to talk about after this, The Public Enemy, already is adding a lot more kind of like detail and nuance onto that. Of it isn't just like this like rags to riches to rags story. Like this one is like, it does feel like this is the quintessential gangster movie in its most like pure, simplest form.
Right. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, because it works great in this movie.
Yeah. It's not like it's plain or anything. It's just that, it's iconic, I would say.
there's a great bit early on, just like introducing some of like the side gangster characters, and the camera's just like moving around to each of their faces around like a poker table, and we meet the boys, which are Tony Passa, Otero, Bat Corella, Killer Peppy, Kid Bean, and Scabby, which are just
so good, so good.
And that is this whole movie, like that vibe of just like nicknames and old-timey voices and shooting guns out of cars.
It's such a
so
fun
much
movie.
slang.
It's like a
so much slang in this movie.
Yeah, I would love to just put this movie on whenever, you know.
Yeah,
it's just a fun watch. Lots of slang, stuff like I've been in this game for many years and I put the cuffs on a lot of mugs. Or it's all Jake to me. which I had to look up what that meant.
Yeah, at one point someone's referring to a public execution and they refer to it as a neck stretching party, which is
so good.
The most gangstery thing you can say about someone being hanged. Yeah, it's going to a neck stretching party later.
Yeah, every moment of this movie is packed full of that stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's another one that Rico says. It's not even like super slangy. It's just perfect gangster speak of, there's a rope around my neck and you can only hang once. If any turns yellow and squeals, my gun is going to speak its piece.
Yeah, this is a movie just to kind of luxuriate in. And it is kind of wild how influential it feels like it has been. So Jack Warner, one of the famed Warner Brothers who produced this movie, later said that the movie was a thinly veiled Al Capone movie, which is kind of funny that it came out the same year. It came out before Al Capone was convicted, but it came out the same year. So it's like Al Capone was in the news when this movie was being made and when it came out, which is kind of wild that they're just like, let's make a movie about a real criminal who is famous right now and just like change the name.
Well, this was based also partially and like, I don't know, inspired in many ways too by a real mobster called Little Caesar, who is Salvatore Maranzano, who had just died that year.
I get the impression that the intent of the movie was to kind of capitalize on like Capone specifically, but I don't know. I mean, that's what Jack Warner said.
He did die like 9 months later after this movie came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he had the same name, Little Caesar.
Yeah,
but
which now just makes terrible pizza.
I don't think I've ever had Little Caesar's pizza.
I think I've had a bite of it once, and it was like, I don't need it. This movie has Tommy guns in it, which is fun. I don't think we've seen anything up to this point that actually has Tommy guns in it.
Yeah, and including the cop saying to hand him a Tommy gun. He's like, "Give me a chopper."
Yeah, the best. I wonder how much of this movie is like playing stuff up for the screen, and how much of it is like, did people actually talk like that in 1931?
I mean, the thing is that this is such an outlier as far as how people talk in this movie compared to every other movie that we've watched.
Especially compared to like The Public Enemy is a much more kind of like naturalistic movie. We'll get to that in a second. But it does kind of feel like the gangsteriness of this movie is like so like profoundly strong.
It's a really stylish script. It's like the writing is very styled in this movie, which is awesome, I think. And this movie also, I think, is notable for, I think, you know, and we might get a little more into this as we go through the next couple of years, but I think that a lot is made of the pre-code era as being the super edgy era or whatever. And so far, I feel like there have been aspects that have been, you know, it all kind of is in the PG-13 realm, I think, but there's a darkness, but it's not a darkness that necessarily fully didn't exist in the silent era. But I will say that this movie is notable for being like a pretty like amoral movie about just an out and out bad guy. Like like it is a movie about an entirely evil person. and you're just like, let's watch him be evil, you know?
Right. There's never a point where it's like, so this is a good way to transition to our next movie, but Rico is, from the beginning, is like, I want to do murder. I have murdered before. I want to steal. I just want to be a rich, powerful criminal. Yeah. And then we see him do that, and then, you know, that all crumbles, and he is reduced to, you know, a homeless person. And then the police taunt him through the newspaper, saying like, he's yellow. He's a coward. He then calls the police to be like, I ain't yellow. I'll show down with any of yous. And so then the police find him immediately by tracing the call. And they're like, hey, like, come out or we'll blast you with our Tommy guns. And he's like, no, you ain't never taken me alive. And then they blast him. And he's like, I'm dead. And then that's the end of the movie.
It's like, Mother of Mercy, is this the end of Rico?
Right, which is, I think I had seen that on some like TCM list of like the greatest movie quotes or whatever. So that is like a notable line of like, that's a hell of a thing to say as you're dying, I think. Is to refer to yourself in the third person. Be like, am I dying? But it's great, you know. Edward G. Robinson, he sells it.
Yeah,
good
he's
actor.
so good in this.
Yeah.